Using functions to model relationships, worksheet 15. Now, before we answer questions 21 through 25, since you're completing this on Notability, what I would like you to do is I would just like you to scroll to the next page. If you are doing this on a worksheet, just flip it to the very last page where it's blank, and go ahead and put down sales tax at the top middle of the paper. Before we answer questions 21 through 25, I need to go over something with you that I wish we were able to have more time to go over and talk about, because this is something that's important that you will use for the rest of your life. Sales tax. Now, in the state of Pennsylvania, we don't have sales tax on clothing. So I'm going to pretend that we're down in Maryland and we just bought a shirt or want to buy a shirt that's $20. In the state of Maryland, the sales tax the percentage is 5%. Okay, so I have a shirt that is $20 and the tax percentage is 5%. Well, first, instead of using 5%, let's take that 5% and let's change it to a decimal. If you remember, you did this back when you were in sixth grade. I know you did it in sixth grade, maybe even earlier, but to change a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. So 5 divided by 100 would give you 0.05. So if I want to figure out how much I'm going to have to pay in total after adding on the tax, I take the tax amount, so I have to take 5% of 20 and add it to the original cost. So I have to take whatever that tax amount is and add it to the original cost. In order to find the tax amount, I multiply. It's 5% of 20. The word of in mathematics means to multiply. So that is what I did here in this equation. So right here is my tax percent, and right here is my original cost. So I'm taking 5% of 20. Well, if you would put that into your calculator, 5% of 20 is 1. So my total cost would be 1 plus 20. Well, the total cost for my shirt that cost $20 with the 5% sales tax would be $21. So before we move on, though, I'm going to show you something that's a little quicker than doing it this longer way. All right, so I'm going to take that same equation, I'm going to write it again. So the total cost is the sales tax percentage times the original cost. Now leave a little space between the plus sign and the 20. Okay, the reason why I did that is, what percentage of the shirt are you paying for? What percentage of the shirt? Well, you are paying full price for the shirt, correct? If you are paying full price for the shirt, you are paying 100% of the shirt. And 100% as it's not even a decimal, it's the whole number, 1. So in other words, I'm going to put a 1 in front of this 20. And then we learned about the distributive property. This is like the opposite of the distributive property. It's called factoring, which you'll do later. But if I take these two, see how both of those numbers are being multiplied times 20? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those numbers and I'm going to put down 0.05 plus 1. I'm going to multiply that times 20. Well, 1 plus 0.05 would be 1.05 times 20. Well, if you would put 1.05 times 20 in your calculator, you would get 21. So I got the same answer, but what I did was I did it in a way that was a little quicker. Now, I know I wrote more, but that's because I was explaining. But what I just showed you there is, if you take the percent, the tax percent, and add a 1 to it, and multiply that number times your original cost, you can get your total cost in one step. So let me give you an example. If I had a shirt that cost 15 bucks and the tax is 7%, well, 7% would be 0.07. So I would take 1.07 times the $15. If I had a pair of jeans that cost $50 and the sales tax is 8%, 8% as a decimal is 0.08, so 1 plus 0.08 is 1.08, so I would take 1.08 times the $50. So you want to take 1 plus your tax percentage, change it to a decimal, and multiply that times the original cost, and you can find your total price in one step. Now, what happens though if there's also shipping? Let's say you're ordering online and there's shipping. So now I'm going to take that 1 plus the percentage, multiply it times the original cost. That will give me my total price before shipping, and then I'll add shipping on at the end. So here's an example. Let's say that I'm shopping online and I found a pair of jeans that are $50. The tax percent is 5.5%. Shipping and handling is $4.99. Well, first of all, let's take this 5.5%. If you take that and divide by 100, you get 0.055. So I want to take that and add 100 to it. Sorry, add 1 to it. And you get 1.055. So up here, I would, to find my total cost with tax and shipping, I'm going to take 1.055 times the original cost of the jeans, which is $50, plus the shipping and handling, which is $4.99. So in my calculator, 1.055 times 50 plus $4.99, and I get a total of $57.74. Now we are going to use what we just did there, and we are going to translate this into the problems 21 through 25. Before we do that though, a lot of times the original cost, they'll use the letter C. So it will be the total equals 1 plus the tax percent times the cost plus the shipping. So we're going to use this information right here to help us complete questions 21 through 25.